But anyway, hold on, let me just pull it up here and we'll go from there. Essentially, I think this new investment paradigm is de-globalization. For as long as I can remember being interested in the world and in markets, the most important word or the most dominant word was globalization, and how the world is getting smaller and the world is getting flat. And, borders no longer really mattered from an economic perspective because capital was free to flow around the world. But I really think that has changed a little bit. And what I thought I would do here is I'm just going to walk through. Let me just make sure this is working the way it's supposed to work. I'm going to walk through. Yeah, okay. I'm going to walk through, and I'm going to read a couple little pieces of it because I think it will set the stage fairly well. But essentially, um, you know, for nearly half a century, investors operated inside a framework that really appeared unshakable. And that was globalization. They came to see borders not as obstacles, but as opportunities. And capital moved with astonishing ease. Multinational corporations, flourished. Supply chains stretched across different countries, different continents. And the environment, it really created not only an environment that was profitable, but part of the reason it was so profitable is because it was so predictable. Everything just kind of worked. It worked efficiently, it worked smoothly, and it worked for the most part, not always, but it worked for the most part peacefully. And as a result, a lot of variables, unknown variables, were removed from the equation, and it made everything in many ways easier. But I think that has now unraveled. The accelerating conflict with the United States and China has forced the recognition that economics and politics can no longer be separated. The same supply chains that once were held up as marvels of efficiency are now in many ways seen as liabilities, vulnerable to disruption and manipulation. And I think, COVID-19 really kind of laid that all bare. And in many ways, I would argue COVID is the catalyst that has brought us to where we are today. In this new environment that we're in, the things that get talked about most are no longer necessarily efficiency and integration, but sovereignty, right? Resilience, self-sufficiency. And governments are deliberately trading cost for security, redundancy for optimization, and control for openness. We have a couple different ways that you can subscribe to our research. If you go to research.santiagocapital.com, there's a couple different levels. There's our main level, which gives you access to a number of different reports. And then there's the premium version, which gives you access to even more reports, more in-depth reports. A couple times a month, we do a live Q&A, and you get access to basically everything we do.